All right, everybody. N-word drama. There's a huge N-word drama happening in Britain. People have been talking about it. I guess it's very new. It's from yesterday. Basically, there's a film. The BAFTAs happened. Okay, that's step one to understanding the story. And there's a film that is about Tourette's, and it's called I Swear, which is a clever title. And it was on my list, and I didn't know too much about it. But they invited the guy.
You may have heard.
I'm not sure if it's the guy the film is based on, or if he's like a part of the crew, or if the film hired someone with Tourette's, or what the story is there. But basically, man with Tourette's is at the BAFTAs, at the awards ceremony. And some interesting moments ensue. Let's take a look.
Some strong and offensive language tonight.
That's BAFTA Awards host Alan Cumming. About an hour and 20.
So this is, yeah, hold on.
You may have heard some strong and
Yeah, so this is him post Tourette's moments.
offensive language tonight.
That's BAFTA.
So he's, yeah, thank you, Graham. I don't know anything about your channel, but you've condensed this in a fair use way, and I'm not about to scroll through the entirety of the BAFTAs to find the clips that I'm looking for.
Were heard throughout the show.
If you have seen the film I Swear, you will know that film is about the experience of a person with Tourette syndrome.
Yeah, the British drama nominated for 6 awards.
6 awards.
It's based on the life of John Davidson, who was in attendance.
Okay, so it is based off of the guy.
Tourette syndrome is a disability, and the tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette syndrome has no control over their language.
Alan's statement came after the film's star, Robert Aramayo, won the Rising Star Award.
And tonight, especially, I just want to say that for people living with Tourette's, it's the us around them that help define what their experience is.
It's the what around them? The buzz around them, or the words around them?
For people living with Tourette's, it's the us around them
The buzz
that
around
help
them?
define
It's the us around? I don't know what he said. Alex, help me out sometime.
what their
I don't think it was a British thing.
experience is. So, to quote the film, they need support and understanding.
So I get the timing of Alan's statement, but it came over an hour after John's first and most jarring outburst.
Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan.
Ruh-roh.
So
Ruh-roh.
the Sinners stars came on stage to present Best Special Visual Effects and decided not to censor what...
You know, I'm a firm proponent of the idea that you don't need cutaways to someone's webcam to be able to show something in a fair use way. Like, look at Crowbcat's entire channel. Crowbcat. Love that. You know? Just narrative told through editing. You can literally have a supercut of the outbursts, and it wouldn't be infringing upon what the BAFTAs are trying to sell and present, right? Unless they were planning on doing their own supercut on their own YouTube channel, which I don't think is the case.
was blurted out from the crowd, because I think that defeats the whole purpose of this.
The first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
In the silence, it's very, so this is a historic moment because we're getting to levels of cringe perhaps not seen since like Lars von Trier Cannes Film Festival. You know, I don't even think the Will Smith slap was like this. Like, that was shocking, right? We're getting cringe here because these guys, they don't deserve to be called that, okay? Right? You don't expect that when you're at an awards show for the arts, you know, unless maybe like Armand White is in attendance or something and he's had like 1 or 2 drinks, you know, maybe then you would expect it. But at the BAFTAs, what, they're not like trans or anything, you know, you don't expect to be heckled for being a minority in Britain, right? Unless you're trans.
Purpose of this.
The first BAFTA of the night.
This is it. I said something satirical and exaggerative with some truth to it as a joke, okay? Thank you.
For a vital part of movie making.
No, it's not against TOS, otherwise GTA would be illegal to show on Twitch. Thank you, Boards of Cinema.
That's the whole purpose of this.
The first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
It's his face. It's his face that really gets me. And Michael B. Jordan is... maybe crying inside a little bit. But what do you do? What do you do?
We're here to celebrate the artists who expand.
So we'll get into the nuance. We'll get into the nuance here, okay? Because there is nuance, and I'm a person that promotes nuance, and I believe there's nuance in literally everything, including the statement that I just said about nuance, right? And if you don't believe that, you're a fucking idiot. Maybe, right?
A few more outbursts heard throughout the ceremony.
In a place which is very troubled.
Fuck! You know, there is humor here. There is humor here. Otherwise, the classic YouTube channel Tourette's Guy would not have taken off. Because we do kind of enjoy hearing someone saying, fuck! Right? The echo and like the sound design, you know, like this is a better film than Hamnet. Right? So
Outbursts heard throughout the ceremony.
In a place which is very troubled.
the fact that it's echoey makes it so much better. By the way, broadcasting, this was on the BBC. There's a control room where they made an editorial decision not to censor the Tourette's guy's swears. Whereas, like, if it was anybody else, it would have been censored, right? If somebody else swore in their acceptance speech, would have been censored. I kind of like that we got to hear it. I think they should have done a better job preparing, right? Oh, they censored someone saying Free Palestine? Very interesting. They should have done a better job preparing for this, because it's my understanding that they didn't provide these sorts of warnings, right? That clip we saw at the beginning, that was, according to this channel, after these, I don't even want to call them outbursts, right? They were after these tics happened, right? I think outburst implies something other than Tourette's, but I don't know. Maybe that's what people with degrees say for people with Tourette's. I don't know.
We are delighted to be presenting the BAFTA for Supporting Actor this evening.
Variety report.
What did they say there? I don't even know what word. I mean, if it's illegal for Twitch and YouTube, don't post it in the chat. But I just don't know what they said.
Evening.
DACA? I don't know what he said there. Surprised it wasn't misogynistic, though.
For Supporting Actor this evening.
Shut up, fuck off, something like that. Okay, maybe that was a little misogynistic. Women be talking, right? So.
Variety reports that John eventually left the ceremony on his own accord. He wasn't asked to leave by BAFTA.
Oh, that sucks. I feel bad for the guy. You know, not saying I don't feel bad for Michael B. Jordan and the other guy whose name I forget. Delroy Lindo. Obviously, you feel bad for anybody that feels bad. But I mean, like, there's a reason why it's considered like an affliction that, you know, probably could use some more awareness, right? There's a reason why Sweet Anita gets to say whatever on Twitch with a pass, and I'm glad they allow her to. Because really, it's like you can't it has to do with someone's inability to not say those things, right? It's not within their control. It's causing harm to themselves. They're clearly not enjoying it. He left the fucking ceremony, right? He felt ashamed and he left. Like, he's not doing this for fun. There's going to be some more nuance that we get into here when we see some of the responses to this.
Two things to say on this. First, I think they waited way too long for Alan to make a statement about it. Yeah, it was over an hour. That's without commercials. Over an hour after Michael and Delroy were on stage. I
don't know anything about this guy or his political beliefs, but there should have been a warning at the very least for the black people there, because you know, Tourette's can affect many people, but there is one word There is one particular word that seems to be able to do the most damage to someone, and that's the one that that people use derogatorily towards black people, right? So they should have been warned at the very I don't think it's right that these two were here and clearly, oh my God, look at this face, clearly weren't anticipating that. Like, I don't think guy with Tourette's should be outcast and shunned from society, right? And just uninvited to like literally everything and not get to experience anything. You just got to let people know what to expect. If you know that they're going to be there as an organizer to the event or a host, then you got to let other people be like, hey, you might hear the N-word a couple times tonight, but it's not like against you. It's because they have a brain problem. So you gotta just remember, yeah, they're too surprised by this.
For a vital part of movie making. We're here to celebrate the artists.
It sucks, and I'm smiling, and humor is made up of many uncomfortable moments for me, but you know.
You can see that Delaware is a little taken aback by the moment.
I love cringe. I breathe cringe. I exist within cringe. Do you see I got hooves? Cringe is my fucking life, bro. Okay? Like, I'm not even going to take this off. I actually feel very comfortable in this. I love cringe. That's just a part of my brain. That's just a part of how I am, right?
While there was all this empathy and, you know, asking for understanding for
who I
John
am
in BAFTA statement or Alan's statement.
Sorry, did they edit out Free Palestine from the same ceremony? Or just once before on BBC?
There seemed to be a real lack of empathy.
The same ceremony? Do you have a source for that? Because that's actually fucking insane. So what if the Tourette's guy said it? Fuck! In an acceptance speech? No way. Literally Google it. Well, I just put on a fucking hoof because I'm not supposed to be clicking and typing as much. I'm supposed to be minimizing that. So why don't you post a link in chat, please?
An understanding of what that was just like for Michael and Delaware up on stage.
We apologize if you were offended.
If you were offended, that's rather dismissive. And yeah, everyone should be offended by the use of that word.
I mean, I would argue there's a bunch of black people that weren't offended by the use of it in that context, right? In the same way that, like, you know, there's a bunch of black people that watched the South Park episode where Randy, you know, so it's like, you know, it's a joke, and the part of the joke is understanding that it's a bad word that you shouldn't say, otherwise the joke doesn't work. And saying that there's a bunch of people that are black that don't agree that it should be offensive in every single context doesn't mean that I'm trying to say that all black people should believe that. And it doesn't matter how many fucking qualifiers I put in everything I say. I try to be as nuanced as fucking possible, and there will always be fucking people that just that have such small brains that they need everything to just be one way or the other in a way that's more simple and easy to understand for them, right? The point I'm getting at when he says everyone should be offended by the word is, although it is wrong to say the N-word in most contexts, right? Here's an example where you might not want to kill the person is they have Tourette's. Another example that I think everyone, 99.999% of people unanimously agree is an acceptable scenario where white people say the N-word is if a person is acting in a play or a film, especially in a context where said play or film is pointing out racism and that it's bad, right? Steve McQueen's 12 Years a Slave, right? Pretty sure there were white actors in that film saying the N-word. Black director. He might have written it too, right? It was actually, yeah, wasn't it based off of a book from like a true story of Solomon Northup or whatever? Yeah, literally like a historical important catalog of, you know, like black civil rights and oppression, and like, you know, an absolutely necessary story to tell. Very, very well directed too. Love Steve McQueen. He hasn't been great recently, but he's had a lot of great movies. You know, writer, this guy, right? And other writer, Solomon Northup, the character that it's based off of, because I believe it's like from like a journal or a novel or something. And then Steve McQueen, not to be confused with the white Steve McQueen who's dead, but this Steve McQueen, British black Steve McQueen. You know, what? It would be very difficult to argue that the white actors saying the N-word in real life, for the purpose of this artistic project, it would be very difficult to argue that their usage of the word was immoral, right? Or that people should be offended by it in a sense of being offended at the actor saying it and not being offended at the historical atrocities that it's representing, right? So if somebody says there's no acceptable way for a white person to say the N-word, they don't actually believe that, because otherwise they'd be saying that against like 12 Years a Slave and other films, right? And people with Tourette's that can't help it, right? So don't strawman this argument. I'm very much anticipating someone's retelling of this being YMS. He at one point argued about why he should be able to say the N-word and why black people shouldn't be offended or whatever. Like, those people, not worth listening to ever. They might be 14 years old. They might be paid bots. I don't know. But those people manage to exist somehow or not exist. We don't know, right?
I think the apology really...
So ignore the no nuance people. Ignore the people trying to create a world with no nuance. Right? Everything has nuance. Every single thing has nuance. And every person deserves to live in the world that they try to create for other people. That's a quote by me, okay? Write it down.
Needs to be directed towards the viewer. I think the apology, I don't really think it needs to come to Alan. I think it's weird for Alan to have to say it. I think on behalf of BAFTAs, you could say, we apologize to Mike and Delroy.
And yes, they should have handled it better.
And I do think that, even though, you know, he wasn't under control of what he was saying and a complete empathy for his condition, I do think John needs to make a public apology to Michael and Delroy. And I think he can use this as a real teachable moment.
I don't know if I agree with like should make a public apology. That's like, you know, like should an autistic person who's like nonverbal like apologize for not saying, like not responding to someone in a like I don't know, like we're talking about like an actual mental affliction that they can't control, right? Like, should a person with no arms apologize for not returning a high five? Like, you know, like, yeah, it might be offensive to a person, right? Like, what we decide is offensive is entirely socially constructed. Without the history of oppression of black people, the N-word is just syllables, right? Of course, you know, we exist within history, we exist within context, so it's not that to most people. But I don't think you should have to apologize. Like that's kind of shitting on him for something he can't control, right? So
I do think John needs to make a public apology to Michael and Delroy, and I think he can use this as a real teachable moment. for the public in terms of Tourette's. I think there.
Usually, here's how I think of apologies. First of all, apologies mean nothing without like a change of action, right? People use apologies to manipulate and control other people. Most times when I hear have heard an apology historically in my life, it's from someone who will continue doing the thing that they apologized for. And so it means nothing. And I have, over the course of my annoying life, been conditioned to expect that people don't actually mean it when they apologize, right? But to me, if I were to apologize for something, it would be for something where I actually, if it's a genuine apology, it would be for something where it's like, okay, I made a mistake, right? I made an error of judgment that I shouldn't have. I'm not going to apologize for like something about myself that can literally just be described as a symptom of autism or ADHD, right? I'm not going to I'm not going to apologize for like offending someone for wearing a fucking horse hoof, right? That offends people. It legitimately offends some people, right? Or being NB, right? Or being queer, right? These people shouldn't apologize for being black either, right? It's, again, nuance. I'm just saying I don't think a person with a disability should have to apologize for their disability. That's what I'm saying. What I am not saying is what you will inevitably hear people recharacterize this as. whatever weird thing they'll say. Anyway, let's hear this. This is an interesting subject. I like subjects that have moral gray areas that we can actually like dissect and discuss, right? That's why I'm a heavy promoter of nuance, is because I like talking about things, right? I like discovering things. I like hashing things out and hearing other people's perspectives. But there are very, very stupid people that get combative about that as a concept, about nuance as a concept.
I think there was a real lack of empathy and acknowledging the experience of Michael and Delroy going through that up live on stage. What are your thoughts?
An apology should be made from the BAFTAs, right? An apology acknowledging the obviously uncomfortable and probably very emotionally triggering and perhaps even traumatic, most likely even traumatic experience. Making someone go through that on fucking stage, like guaranteed, there's people in real life that have called them that word in very malicious ways growing up. That's just the experience of being black, right? So, it's not just a word out of context. It's not just, like a word that that someone only imagines they're offended by. It's through not only just a history, but also like a social conditioning, right? Where it's like if that word is associated with people that are actively trying to cause harm, people are going to handle that in different ways. As a queer person who has had the F slur thrown at me, I don't know, every day, being a fucking, public figure, I don't care. It's not, I do believe in the sense, that there's a very legitimate argument to make that, like, by giving the word more power, you're giving it more power. And again, I'm not saying all black people, I'm not saying whatever 5 steps ahead you think I'm saying when I say that. There is validity to that statement, but you can't expect that everyone will be able to do it because every mind is so different, right? I can say from a personal perspective that that's how my brain works, but no one can control their own brain and no one can control that about themselves. So, yeah, when it comes to how I treat people, I have no reason to be saying the N-word, so I don't. Did I say the N-word at some point in the past? I think everybody has. I think if somebody's claiming that they've never said it at any point in their life, they're lying to you. But what I can say is when I did say it however many years ago, it wasn't about a black person, right? In the context of like a quote. Like if you're quoting in the same way that, the acting, right? If you're quoting something and you're talking about how bad it is that someone said something, or like, quoting something in a news, or naming the title of an album that you really like by Death Grips, or rapping along to some of your favorite songs when you're 13 years old or so, and those songs are made by Dr. Dre, right? That's a hyper specific example. It couldn't be me. There are points in everyone's life. Some of them are malicious. In my case, they were never. But yeah, I think literally everyone said the N-word at some point. Like if it's a word about and it's that popular, like you've said it. You've said it. Like if you're a 10-year-old or whatever, if you've thought it in your head, you've said it. That would be an interesting argument. Anyway, let's look at the discourse. And I'll get to this link in a little bit. Thank you. Okay, so this person has a response here. I should also mention before we even start with this discourse type stuff. If people are confused about what Tourette's is, it's not just, they have, I'm sure there's a spectrum. It's not just, in this person's scenario, it's not just, they have like one thing that they keep doing with their shoulder or whatever, right? If there's a verbal Tourette's, many people with that experience it in a way where it's not necessarily a specific word, but whatever worst thing that infiltrates their head at any given moment, right? There's ways that I think the average person has experienced some form of this without acting it out, right? A common term that I've seen thrown around on the internet is like call of the void, to describe if you're on a ledge or even like looking at a video or something of people doing like some urban exploration, and you're in a place, like a balcony or like on top of a roof, and you look down, there's something in your head to a lot of people where there will be something kind of compelling you to jump. Look this up. It's a real phenomenon. But you don't do it, otherwise you're dead, right? But there's something about knowing that that's an option that sticks out in people's minds, right? The human brain, what separates us from most animals is our ability to perceive potential outcomes in the future, and think about what an action that you might do would result in. And with us being a species that is trying to thrive and survive, obviously, then a pretty important one would be knowing you fall from a large height, you die. And sometimes that knowledge of knowing that that's a bad thing might manifest itself in people's minds as a call to action. Like an idea is in their head, and that's something that they're going to do uncontrollably, right? I've been in situations where I've thought of the worst thing that I could possibly say in a room, not because I wanted to, not because I think it's based and funny, but because I have really bad anxiety. And I thankfully don't have Tourette's, because if I did, I would have had a fucking N-word moment at any of the time where I was like living in Atlanta for 3 years and dating my black ex-boyfriend, right? Thankfully, I don't have Tourette's, right? Thankfully, I don't have Tourette's, because there's moments in my head where I'm like, fuck, that would be awful. And I feel bad about it. And it's not like a want to say it. It's not like a desire to do anything. I walk on the street, I see a woman and a kid with a stroller, and I think I could kick that baby into the train tracks. Now that's funny. But it would be awful, right? It would be awful. So Hopefully my brain doesn't deteriorate at age 65 and just start, intrusive thoughts. Thank you, intrusive thoughts. What I'd imagine, just as a person capable of trying to understand other people, what I'd imagine is that for people with Tourette's, like the guy at the BAFTAs, that is a similar experience, but instead of thinking it, you're just already saying it, right? Because my understanding is that it's dependent on the context of a situation. If you see a woman, you're going to say something sexist. If you see a black person, you're going to say something racist. Not because you're sexist or racist, but because your brain intrudes with the thought of what is the worst thing that I could say, and then it's said, right? So in that sense, does a person with Tourette's deserve to have the same social consequences as someone who knows better not to say it and has the ability not to say it? No. Right? Just like when people say they care more about when an animal dies in a movie or something, the justification is like, yeah, because they didn't know any better, they can't help it, right? Like, not saying people with Tourette's are like dumb animals or whatever, but you have to make considerations depending on context. That's nuance. That's what nuance is that not everything is black and white, and not every single rule exists across the board for everyone, that you have to adjust based on information. Yeah, neurons misfiring in brains, right? People think that their consciousness is like a choice, right? People don't understand that, like, this person doesn't have any more control over what they say than a Tourette's person either. I don't. I just happen to be lucky that I don't have Tourette's. You can say that about everyone's experience. Like, free will doesn't exist. Let's move on.
We are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
We're here to celebrate.
Some of you are getting on my last God-given nerves. The fact that I have to come up here to break down for you the ABCs 1, 2, 3 do-re-mis of racism, because some of you have...
I don't like auto subtitles, because, like, do-re-mi was translated to Dr. Miss. DRMs. Like,
do-re-mis of racism.
Like, I don't like auto subtitles. It's very silly. Oh, I could make this larger, because it's not filling up the frame.
Because some of you have the bombastic audacity to want to litigate the racial...
You said the N-word, bro. I knew you didn't like Will Smith, but I never expected it to go this far. Will you issue a public apology to the Smith family?
I apologize for saying the N-word. And in order to retract me saying the N-word, I have to say it again, okay? 3, 2, 1. Nice!
...of a white man, and absolve him of racism because of his disability.
I apologize.
Now, I'm going to make time for you today. Let me say this in plain English, because I'm not speaking Latin or Swahili. John Davidson is a racist white man with Tourette.
Woof, that's a very non-nuanced statement. That's a very absolutist statement. That's a very Sith Lord statement being made. You know, I just like... Try to imagine, like, a scenario where someone isn't the villain or, like, the hero, right? That there might be, like, an in-between. Like, try your best to give benefit of the doubt, right? I'm even giving benefit of the doubt to her. I don't even believe in fucking free will, you know? She's a product of her environment, right?
Tourette syndrome. And let me break this down for you. Tourette syndrome is a disability. Disability is not racism.
Correct.
And it does not make you racist.
Yeah.
The Tourette syndrome simply brings out what is already in the heart.
That is an insane thing to say. Oh no. Why would you say that so confidently? Are you gonna like pull up any studies or like literature to back up what you're saying? Or you're kind of just like winging it? I don't want to know what's in your heart. Jesus.
Mind and soul.
It really sucks. So here's an important thing to remember as we're criticizing this person. A person doesn't represent everybody with their race, their gender, their sexuality, right? Basic things, basic pro-nuance, nuance cord, nuance pilled folks, right? Understand this, but more people need to understand it. So be careful, because this type of shit gets shared around maliciously as a representation of all black people or all women or all black women or all Democrats or all whatever. I don't know, whatever she is. Usually around election cycles, right? It happens to, So watch out for that, America.
Of the person speaking, because as a man thinketh, so is
Some of these people are just literally crazy. Oh my god, I gotta hear her out though. Let's hear this.
the person speaking.
So it's a Tourette's is what's already in your heart. So if my tic was Baba Booey, then I just had too much Joey Boots in my heart. Howard Stern's penis was in my heart.
in the heart, mind, and soul of the person speaking.
Confidence in assumptions, yeah, exactly. Like, it's so that they don't have to reconcile with the fact that they're making an assumption. It makes life easier for them if they can just state something as truth without having any reason to. And when you paint someone as racist, again, I don't think that people believe anyone. I literally don't think anybody actually believes, when put to the test, that there is zero acceptable ways that a white person can say the N-word, right? Like, nobody actually believes that. Literally nobody believes that. You just have to remind them that, like, acting exists, right? And Tourette's exists. Like, would you be chill with a white person saying the N-word if it killed Hitler? Checkmate. I don't know.
Because as a man thinketh, so is he. The word is not a Tourette syndrome condition.
Well, the word in of itself is not, but it is a symptom. Yeah, like it knowing the word and knowing that it offends people is a symptom, right? And again, here's why, like, to me, and again, not everybody has my brain, but to me, there's a power in reclaiming something like the F slur, which the only reason I'm not saying is because YouTube auto demonetizes for it, which I don't think they should. I find that to be fucking bullshit. So you have workarounds, right? You could say feguito, right? Instead of the C word, you can say country or Susan. But my brain has allowed me to not give a fuck when people are just obviously trying to, they're not using it they're not using the word for any reason other than they think that it would be the word to make me the most upset. So why would I give them that power, right? And again, not expecting everybody to be able to do that. Not saying that means everybody should be able to say the N-word all the time, right? Don't go 20,000 steps ahead of what I said. Just be faithful, be good faith, charitable with what I said. But I do feel like I would be in a worse position if I did let that get to me, right? Xbox Live. We're gonna talk about gamer culture here. Back in the day, and also a lot today, some people still do this, but back in the day, it was like the status quo. Like, if someone sounds black, they expect to be called the N-word on Xbox Live. If someone sounds gay, they expect to be called the F slur. If someone's female, they expect to be harassed about that. And I'm not saying this was like, oh, this is great and that's cool and that's the society we should strive for. But what I am saying is, human beings, in order to get a rise out of people, are only going towards what they think will upset the other person. That's why on the internet, you see death and rape threats against women, right? But against men, you have death and rape threats against women in those men's lives. Because a death and rape threat doesn't affect the man as much, and it might, but at least the social expectation is that it doesn't, enough so that people think, okay, well, you would really care if I'm threatening to have sex with your mom or your sister, right? Like, that's a thing. Like, it's an interesting social thing that we just kind of observe, right? That the threat of harming a woman in a man's life is going to get to him more based off of his, like, monkey brain, like, protection instinct, or, you know, baby brain syndrome, whatever we want to call it, caveman brain, I don't know. Being a normal human being that's not on the spectrum.
It is a racist
Normie
condition. That word is in John Davids's bank of vocabulary.
Yeah, because it's not illegal and hasn't been banned from society. It's in everyone's vocabulary because it's a word that we've heard, right? Like, I mean, what if he likes hip hop? How is he going to avoid hearing the word? Like, how is he going to avoid hearing it? What if he wants to watch Steve McQueen, 12 Years a Slave? What if he wants to learn about history? What if he wants to read Catcher in the Rye? Like, yeah, it's in everyone's vocabulary. It's probably one of the most common words in people's vocabulary, right? I guess vocabulary in the sense of knowing a word, not necessarily using it frequently, but knowing of the word, yeah, like we've propelled it to being one of the most powerful words of all time. And again, not saying black people are to blame for that, and I'm not saying they should just suck it up and get over it. I'm saying there's nuance. There's nuance.
And all the Tourette did was bring it out.
I don't like, this is very mean-spirited, what she's saying.
Oh, I know what it's
Which is funny, because she's kind of accusing him of doing that, you know?
like.
Catcher in the Rye didn't have that word? I don't know. What was the book that they teach in schools that has the N-word all over it? Oh, it wasn't Catcher in the Rye. What was it? What's the other one? Tom Sawyer, thank you. Thank you, Antifa Catboy.
Intrusive thought.
Huckleberry Finn, thank you. That's what I meant. Huckleberry Finn, that's what I meant.
But the moment those intrusive thoughts become actions or words, the impact is real. For those of you
Sorry, I'm going to hear it again.
who have intrusive thoughts, but the moment
Oh, this is like the craziest thing to say about Tourette's, actually.
you know what it's like to have intrusive,
We all know what it's like to have intrusive thoughts.
all the Tourette did was bring it out. Oh, I know what it's like to have intrusive thoughts.
What happened to your subtitles there?
But the moment those intrusive thoughts become actions or words, the impact is real.
The impact is real. I don't think anyone's denying that people were impacted by the words he said, which is why there should have been warning, you know? But to imply a level of malice, like you're being very, very shitty.
For those of you woeful and willful ignoramus out there, racism
This is very funny in the sense that it's like a satire against herself without knowing it.
does not require intent.
There was warning? Okay, well, the way that the other video framed it is as if the warning came after the fact mostly, or that the warning wasn't sufficient enough. If you can please link me what the warning looked like beforehand and not the host apologizing after the fact, please link me that, because I would love to include that and have the correct information.
To be racist. It doesn't matter. If you meant to be racist, you...
I mean, racism, let's look up the definition, right? Like, if it's in someone's heart, right? Like, it's AI overview. Let's skip that, right? Okay, well, this, I kind of prefer the AI overview because prejudice is just like let's see if Merriam-Webster actually helps us out. Yeah, here's what I was looking for. A belief that a race is fundamental detriment of human traits. I just didn't want to have to, like, prejudice is almost like a synonym, right? That's why I was having an issue. A belief that race is a fundamental determinant, thank you. I almost thought it said detriment. Determinant of human traits and capacities, and that racial differences produce an inherent superiority of a particular race. If he doesn't believe that, then he isn't racist. That's not to say that he can't be possible of doing something that is racist. Some things that are just plain ignorant are racist, right? Like you might not, there's ways that people might not know they're being racist, that's for sure. The problem is this guy understands that the word is racist, but can't help but to say it. Right? He can't help but to say things that his brain knows, even subconsciously, will be bad things to say. That's like the whole issue he's having. So there's no reason to suggest that he's racist.
You did it with depraved.
Ignore everything I said from the beginning of this video, and this is the only thing you need to hear. What I'm trying to say is, bro's got the pass.
Difference,
and then ignore everything I say after that, and then there's my Twitter clip. There we go.
It happened because you have a disability. The racial impact on black people as they watched Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo be racially abused on.
Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't have had to go through that. It kind of sucks. I wish that there was a better handling from the event on that.
On the global stage was.
I don't see the point in blaming the guy who has a disability. Like, that seems insane, right?
Instant, because we all knew exactly what they were thinking, what they were feeling, why they switched on and kept on moving. We knew what it was. We were in that moment with them. That impact is freaking racism. You want to undermine the racist attack against Michael B. Jordan and Daryl.
Attack is a very strong word to be using here. That's a very shitty way of framing this. This person is anti-nuance. This person is this person is a make things simple for my brain so I don't actually have to confront things in real life type. It seems.
Lindo to make John Davidson the victim.
I mean, things were shitty for everyone involved is kind of what I've been saying. Victim, I don't know. But I guess if you're a no nuance person, then you can't imagine a scenario where people are saying that things were shitty for him without thinking that they're trying to say that he was the victim and only he is the victim and nobody else you should feel bad for, and everybody else was doing things against him or something, whatever version of reality you're in.
Because he's a white man with a disability.
Could have been a black person with a disability that said it too. You're kind of forgetting that part.
But you are the same obtuse hypocrites that condemned Kanye West as.
Uh-oh, this is getting fucking good. What the hell she's about to say? Holy shit. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I'm excited, whatever it is. Jesus, this is great.
That anti-Semite demanded action be taken against.
Oh, she's saying that the only reason people thought Kanye West's anti-Semitism and making a song called N-word HH or whatever. She's saying that people would have been chill with that if he was white. And that the only reason there was public outcry and backlash is because he's black. See, this person probably, I'm trying to imagine if she has people in her life that take her seriously, or if most people she meets and interacts with on a day-to-day basis, including people in her close personal life, kind of just go like, oh, interesting, and just don't really want to get into any like meaningful conversation with her because they know that it's like talking to a brick wall. Kind of seems like one of those types of people, but you know.
Without any consideration of his bipolar disorder and the impact his bipolar disorder would have had on his words and his actions.
I mean, yeah, that's a fair point. Is that the his own mental problems did cause a lot of that. However, I don't think that the Tourette's guy in the audience is emboldening white supremacist takeovers of governments. Right? I don't... I don't think Tourette's guy has like a massive fan base of impressionable idiots. You know? I don't think Tourette's guy made an anthem for Nazis. Like that's more than just like a kind of a tic. That seems when you go through the writing and production process of a song and release it onto the world, I would say that's pretty premeditated, actually, is probably one of the deciding factors. Because if let's say Kanye West's controversies were just limited to random outbursts or moments, or like it was a normal interview and then he like got caught up in the heat of the moment and said something, I think people would be treating it very differently than him writing and producing a song to be made as a Nazi anthem and then also holding the, you know, like anti-Semitic, like literally that being a consistent factor of his persona for years. While she's, you know, I don't know, she's saying the tic is just what's in someone's heart. You know, whether or not Kanye West, it's caused by him being bipolar, it seems to be, you know, kind of in there. It doesn't seem to be a random thing that he couldn't help and feels bad about. You know, this is pretty crazy.
Because he's a black man with a disability. We see you.
What an interesting character. I hope that they realize at some point how much damage to their own identities they're doing politically, unless they're literally a psyop. Because in that case, good job. But I hope if this person cares about, like, I don't know, I'm assuming racial justice and, you know, left-leaning activism, I'm hoping that if this person cares about it, they realize that they are not a net positive to their goals.
Even the BBC was overtly racist. They made a conscious decision to edit out Free Palestine, which is not anti-Semitic, from Akinola Davis Jr.'s acceptance speech. But they lacked the moral backbone and racial consciousness to edit out to protect black people, and we know why. It's because
sorry, I gotta hear that again.
Decision to edit out Free Palestine, which is not anti-Semitic.
That is crazy to edit that out from an acceptance speech.
From Akinola,
like, that seems fucked. That seems insane.
Davis Jr.'s acceptance speech. But they lack the moral backbone and racial consciousness to edit out to protect black people.
Oh shit, you just said it. Should have edited it out.
And we know why.
Now it's in my vocabulary. Fuck. Now I know of the word. Damn it.
It's because the feelings of white Zionist Jews trumps the racism experienced by black people.
There would be more validity to what she's saying if it was about an entirely different incident, you know?
So no, my thoughts are not with John Davidson. My thoughts are with Michael B. Jordan, Daryl.
Why not everyone? Why not feel bad for everybody? Why not feel bad for everybody that had a bad thing happen to them? Why do you have to be exclusive about who you feel bad for based... I don't know. Is it based on their race? Like, and you only feel like, what's your deal? What's your deal?
Lindo and every black person, because we are constantly erased to center the comfort, fragility, and inferiority complex of white people. I said what I said.
That was it. Oh my god, that was an epic idol animation. Sorry, no, taunting animation, bro. Like, this is when she like wins in Super Smash Bros.
White people. I said what I said.
Is that like an anime thing? What's going on? Her nails aren't crazy enough to do that, I think.
I said
her nails aren't crazy enough. Your fingers are really weird. Was she in the pool for a bit?
What I said.
This is crazy. That's a weird sign out gesture with those hands and fingers.
Complex of white people. I said what I said.
I want to start doing that, except I have tendonitis, so I can't. That was very interesting. I liked watching that. I like learning about people. I like characters. You know, I like thinking about things. Okay, so we've got a response I don't know who this guy is, but he's reposting a black person with Tourette's. And I'm also going to acknowledge that you don't want to just always be like, oh, here, even a black person agrees with me. Conservatives do that all the time in very bad faith ways, right? You don't want to just because, like, there's nuance, but we're going to listen to this perspective, right?
This is part 2 to my last post about the entire BAFTA situation. I am seeing a ton of people saying, oh my god, during Black History Month, Tourette syndrome is not big.
Oh shit, it's still Black History Month. Why'd they give Black History Month the shortest month? That's a little fucked, right?
Based on a month.
I never hear about it because I'm in Canada. It's not really like I'm not only in Canada, I'm like in the China of Canada, right? I'm not in the New York of Canada. Vancouver doesn't have very many black people, so you never it's not like a public holiday here is what I'm saying. So I always kind of I guess it's a whole month. But yeah, it's not really acknowledged here. Maybe in Toronto it probably is. There's more black people in the eastern parts of Canada, like Toronto and Montreal. But still not very many, which was kind of a it was when I was dating my ex from Atlanta, who I'm still very good friends with. It was kind of like an embarrassing moment when I brought him to Vancouver, because it was at that moment where I realized that there were no black people around. I was like, oh, oops. I didn't really think about it before then. I was like, shit.
Offensive tics are gonna happen no matter what shut up a person does. I'm black. Oh my goodness. And I also have the N-word as a tic.
No, it wasn't oops all white. It was oops all Chinese.
I have other slurs as tics. Does this mean that I use them regularly? Does this mean that I mean them?
That's a sick ass fucking zipper. I love that. I should be wearing things that are even more autistic. Oh wait. Doi. Working on it.
Does this mean that I can control what I say? No, it does not. That's not how coprolalia works. That is not how Tourette syndrome works.
Scoot would be loving this. If Scoot were still alive today, he would be the guy in the crowd. We would be having a debate about him.
Literally the Sweet Anita situation all over again. Shut up. Where she ended up saying the N-word on stream. She got canceled for it, got called racist, etc. We need to do better. I've seen so many people say, that we can control our tics. That's not, if you can control a tic, it's not a tic. Can you explain what a tic is?
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty sensible perspective from a person directly experienced with the thing we're talking about. So it's kind of funny how that works.
Oh, shut up, bitch.
Hell yeah, I love that tic. I see, I don't think I know anyone with Tourette's, so I don't know if what I just said, if I were to be around her and be like, hell yeah, I love that tic, would that be a bad thing? If I'm not actively encouraging it and trying to coax it out of her. But if I was just that's a cool one, actually. That probably, I don't know. It seems probably appreciated. I don't know.
What a tic is in detail. Oh, shut up, bitch.
Oh, I love that one. Shut up, bitch. It's a good catchphrase, I've got one of my friends, she basically becomes like that when she's drunk. Shut up, dumbass! Love you, Jai, if you're listening.
A tic is when your neurons misfire. You think that you can seriously fucking control a...
Or they. Might have misgendered my own friend. I forget who's non-binary these days.
Neuron misfiring. I've never seen a human possibly do that. We have got to stop thinking with our feelings and start thinking with logic. It is okay to be offended. Shut up. But what it is not okay to do is be ableist and try to make it seem like people with Tourette's, specifically those with coprolalia, say their tics on.
Oh, is that a specific type of saying the most offensive thing possible? What is the word?
Tourette's, specifically those with coprolalia.
Coprolalia. I don't know if can someone spell it.
Say their tics on purpose. My whole think piece on this. If you are offended, I do deeply apologize, but I'm just being logical.
See, yeah, I mean, like that's basically what the BAFTA said is like if you're offended, which I can see why those words kind of ring as a hollow and insincere apology to many, because people often say that when they're like, I shouldn't have to apologize, but I'm going to reluctantly. I apologize if I offend. Like people say that like kind of in a weird, malicious way. But I don't think that means that those words can never be used in any context that is sincere. Because, I mean, really, there's a lot of people that aren't offended by it. And so he's only talking about the people that are. So I don't know. Nuance.
Here. I see a lot of people giving their think pieces, and they are specifically talking about racism when tics don't correlate with racism. But that's not what causes offensive or obscene tics. What causes those kinds of tics are coprolalia. Coprolalia, is completely involuntary and does not involve your vocabulary.
Cool. Ableism disguised as anti-racism. White disabled person, deflection. Disabled POC. Potentially. What else we got here? Let's see what other people are saying. So Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Linden were giving an award. I wonder if this will make them more likely to win the Oscar. The award at the BAFTA Awards, and were called the N-word by a Tourette syndrome activist, John Davidson, like in quotes, which is a weird. Why put that in quotes? Like, is there something to dispute that that's what he is? Anyway, so Tourette's causes racism now. Tag Tariq Nasheed, which is a funny fucking thing to tag because I'm sure he'd be all over that. I'm sure he'd echo the woman we just watched.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
It sucks for everybody. BAFTA's host thanks crowd for understanding after Tourette syndrome activist. I mean, yeah, like, I don't know. Is he not? Yells N-word at Michael B. Jordan. Microphones also picked up John Davidson complaining Sarah Putt's opening comments were boring. Some of them are funny. Some of the saying boring is a fun one. This guy's proof. Third image to prove my point. The AI overview from when I asked, does Tourette's syndrome cause racism? And it says, no, Tourette's syndrome does not cause racism, which is true, but not relevant to what you're saying. This is the problem. This is why people need to believe in nuance. Because if you don't believe in nuance and you just say blanket rule for everything, white person says the N-word means they're a racist no matter what any other factors are, then that's how you get this, right? Because in his mind, the word racism is, oh yeah, he's racist because he said the N-word. So in his mind, what he thinks this AI is saying is Tourette's syndrome does not cause someone to say the N-word. Is basically what he thinks that he's, kind of proving by saying that, but that's not what's happening. It's not what's happening. All right, what does this guy have to say?
Yo, so last night at the BAFTAs, there was a guy there, I think called John something, who's got Tourette's, and he shouted out the N-word whilst two black guys were on stage. So he's racist and whatever. Now, here's the thing. He has Tourette's. Now, if you remember watching those documentaries when you were a kid, it's people who just sit there as adults and go, fuck, shit, wanker, blah, blah.
Oh, boy, this is great. Oh, my God. We have a serious... I'm not trying to be mean. I was at a party on Saturday, and there's people there that I love, right? But,
I think the one thing everyone can agree on is that the Tourette's guy was super based when he said fuck the queen to her face.
Yeah, so the guy in the crowd literally said fuck the queen to the queen's face. He told a story about how he did that and he felt bad about it, obviously. I was at a party on Saturday and, you know, love people. I love my friends. But one of them said something that immediately made me think there's no way that's true. And I asked them for a source and they said, oh no, I can give you the contact info of my friend that told me. And I'm like, that's not a source. You should ask your friend for a source on that. And the claim was, I'm trying to remember it. The claim was 23andMe was started by Mormons so that they could use their ability to baptize people through collection of DNA without their consent. And I said, that seems like something I would know about if that were like a proven thing. And so what I'm trying to say, we have access to information. There's no excuse. Everybody has a phone in their pocket with the internet. You can fact check anything. The problem is nobody has the drive or instinct or sees the value for some reason, and I don't understand why. Is it just a neurotypical thing? Like you just don't see the value in like finding out if information is correct? Maybe it's a product of my own fucking traumas throughout my life where I was constantly being lied to and tricked and gaslit. So I have to make sure that there's some sort of verification for my own sake. You know? Being around too many fucking manipulators in my life that take advantage of people's good nature. I'm going to a therapist. Anyway, yeah, I don't understand why people wouldn't see the value in being like in having information and having it be. And remember, this person posted a video before the fact check. He's just saying, so you remember, well, let's hear him out, because maybe he'll say something, maybe I paused at the wrong time. Maybe he'll say something that, maybe I'm making assumptions, right?
So let's see. When you were a kid, it's people who just sit there as adults and go, fuck, shit, wanker, they're in the middle of a restaurant going, fuck it, fish, fat, fuck. That's Tourette's, and we find it funny. But only when it's aimed at you, it's not funny. Now, if the person on stage was an Asian...
Okay, so I thought, I paused too early. I thought he was going to keep it at, oh, you all saw in a documentary, it's just the physical tics, and then ignore the other parts.
As adults and go, fuck, shit, wanker,
yeah.
They're in the middle of a restaurant going, fuck it, fish, fat, fuck. That's Tourette's, and we find it funny. But only when it's aimed at you, it's not funny. Now, if the person on stage was an Asian, he might have been like, Jackie Chan, ching, chong, chang. He might have...
I mean, you just did it. You just did it. You know, that was kind of fun. Because I'm not Asian. Yeah. I will... This is an anecdotal observation. This is not representative of entire cultures of people, but from my experience living in Atlanta, a lot of Black people do find a lot of fun humor in Asian stereotype comments and jokes, right? Anecdotal, that's not representative of everybody, but what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I think everybody's got a little bit of prejudice or racism or, you know, humor that is edgy, maybe. You know, I think it exists to some degree in every culture, is what I'm saying.
Said that and thought, oh my God, I'm so sorry. If the person was fat, he might have gone, fat fuck.
And also, I should mention this, because I think this is a very important distinction also that people should be aware of. Me saying I've been to Atlanta and, like, my ex is Black is not me being like, oh yes, I know everything. Like, it, you know, it was a perspective and it helped, you know, expose me to, you know, another culture, especially Southern culture, right? You can't say that, like, Black people are a monolith. You can't say that a Southern Black person from Georgia raised in like an uber Christian household's experience is going to be the same as, you know, a black guy from New York, right? There's varying experiences, and you can't just put everybody into one camp. Nuance. Remember nuance.
I'm so sorry. If the person was fat, he might have gone fat fuck, and it just comes out of his mouth. But the people were black, and he's gone N-word, and that's it. That's Tourette's. You can't laugh at people with Tourette's for years. Not in a malicious way, but find it funny that you can't control their speech. And then when it suits you, take offense to it. The guys at an award ceremony, the BAFTAs.
I mean, you still can take offense to it. It's just a matter of whether or not you're like claiming the guy's being malicious and saying that he should be harmed from it.
He's got Tourette's. It's not a case of you got Tourette's, so just stay the fuck at home all day. He went there, and what's happened is Tourette's has kicked in, and he's looking at two black guys on stage, and Tourette's meant open your mouth and say something, and as soon as he's done it, I bet he's thought, oh shit, does that make him a racist? No.
Okay. Interesting. John Davidson says he is deeply mortified that his Tourette's tics could be seen as intentional in first statement after the BAFTA Film Awards. Yeah, which is a part of, you know, probably a part of the point of being an activist and making a film is to try and spread awareness so that people don't treat people like shit. Because you don't want a scenario where, like, okay, remember that people with Tourette's exist. Remember that they probably have to leave their house at some point, even if they tried to, like, not be in society, they would probably have to leave their house at some point. You don't want a situation where, like, they get killed for saying something, right, that they didn't try to say, right? And so having this awareness could have a situation where, you know, someone's like, oh yeah, I remember that people with Tourette's exist, right? When you have more information in your brain, you know that you can have things to work with, right? So yeah, like harm reduction all around is a good thing. I spent my life trying to support and empower the Tourette's community and teach empathy, kindness, and understanding from others, and I will continue to do so. I chose to leave the auditorium early into the ceremony as I was aware of the distress my tics were causing. A nice guy. Like, you couldn't have a more, like, empathetic approach from him. Of, like, him removing himself from the situation because he felt guilty, right? Like, and again, Michael B. Jordan, Delroy Lindo, also feel bad for them because it sucked. It very clearly sucked for them, right? Have feelings for more than one person, more than one group of person, right? We're learning how to be human beings that aren't bad people. Sinner's crew member slams Alan Cummings' throwaway apology after N-word incident. Hannah Beechler has spoken out on social media after an incident at the BAFTAs on February 22nd during the N-word, during which the N-word was used by Tourette syndrome campaigner John Davidson. He yelled, "Fuck you," during the Best Children's and Family Film category while the winners were on stage accepting their award. He should have stayed for the whole ceremony. I like that one. As long as they, you know, I don't know who was on stage accepting the award. I'm going to assume it wasn't children accepting the award. Right? She wrote on X, "I keep trying to write about what happened at the BAFTAs and I can't find the words. The situation is almost impossible, but it happened 3 times that night, and one of the 3 times was directed at myself on the way to dinner after the show. And a 3rd time at a black woman. I understand and deeply know why this is an impossible situation. I know we must handle this with grace and continue to push through, but what made the situation worse was the throwaway apology or if you were offended at the end of the show." She added, "Of course we were offended, but our frequency, our spiritual vibration is tuned to a higher level than what happened. I am not steel typo. This did not bounce off me, but I exist above it. It can't take away from who I am as an artist. In the okay. I mean, yeah, she didn't. That seems more reasonable than slams the throwaway, but like that. Okay, this is a fucking clickbait. Go fuck yourself. Like, her statement was not that unreasonable. I don't know if I need to read this. Okay, this is crazy. BBC cut Free Palestine. I should look up the Paddington? What do you mean I should look up the Paddington? Oh, they had a Paddington at the BAFTAs? Did the Paddington get hate crimed?
Everybody, you all look
We're just honest men.
rather surprised to see me.
We're just simple men.
Do you know, I'm as surprised as you are. I don't usually...
What if they call Paddington the N-word, though?
Good evening, everybody. You all look rather surprised to see me.
You can't call Paddington the N-word because he's proven. You can call anyone the N-word if you believe in it and try hard enough and just believe in yourself.
Do you know, I'm as surprised as you are. I don't usually...
Why they got an eyes wide shut? Is that the Epstein Award?
Talk in front of lots of people.
Is that what BAFTAs look like? Is that what a BAFTA looks like? That's crazy. What is that?
And there are rather a lot of you. But my Aunt Lucy says...
Sorry, I almost heard something.
But my Aunt Lucy says...
He yelled something. I can't tell what it was. I've never seen The Mask. Like Jim Carrey? What do you mean? Or the mask that they use to present... Fucking tell me real things, please.
To face your fears.
It's a mask? Okay, yeah, what for what? Is it an award? Is it a BAFTA? Just say what it is. Acting mask? No, yeah, I know what that is. I know what that is. Is that what all BAFTAs look like? Please, Jesus, that's what I was trying to ask. Like fucking, the classic representation of acting being sad face mask and happy face mask or whatever, and the Phantom of the Opera or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, yeah. I was just fucking Jesus. Google it. Go fuck yourself. I've got hooves.
Unless it's a snake. Then you have to walk away. Very slowly. Now, Mrs.
Fuck you, Paddington. Fuck you. It's where you have real Tourette's and then you maliciously incorporate it in premeditated ways because you know after you've built up a reputation of having real Tourette's, then you say more lengthy and complex sentences that aren't Tourette's and you see how much you can get away with. How long can a sentence be while you say it's Tourette's? Go eat a dick, Paddington, you queer! Sorry.
Brown said that me giving this award is something called a first for BAFTA. I am the first ever bear to present an award.
The first fagito!
And also the first presenter to get...
Go back to China, bitch! That was a quote from Donnie Darko.
Marmalade all over a BAFTA. Sorry about that. I was going to lick it off, but apparently that's not very good manners.
Can somebody kill that thing? Okay, they're done. What the hell? That didn't even feel like Paddington. Bullshit. Is there a clip of the Palestine thing? Because this is fat. It makes it so much worse than it would have been with just the Tourette's. The fact that they're like actively censoring a political message from the winner. This isn't like, oh, we interrupted the awards show and sprayed paint on everybody and yelled things and tried to disrupt a ceremony. This is, I would like to share in my awards speech something that I feel is politically important. Presumably from a person who has empathy for other people and is not doing something malicious. It's not, At the end of my award speech, I'd like to bring attention to the genocide of the white race that is happening by importing black people into white countries. Like, that's not what it was. Free Palestine, the people saying that, it's most likely coming from a good place. It's most likely coming from a place of, I would like people not to be dying, please. Right? Right? That's a crazy thing to censor. The year that we got fucking N-words at the BBC. As in the words, the N-words, not that, yeah, don't clip me. All right. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's a good thing for Twitter that I enjoy having nuanced discussions on complex subjects. It gives a lot of content, I'm sure. Oh, director of My Father's Shadow. That was a decent movie. Oh, what did he win? Oh, outstanding debut. Okay. Yeah, that was a good debut. It was a good debut. Oh yeah, I forgot it was a British movie too, because it's set in Nigeria and I think does it use mostly Nigerian actors? Yeah, I saw that at TIFF. It was decent, not like amazing, but yeah, it's a good debut for sure. That's a crazy thing to censor though. Does somebody have like a clip of like the broadcast where they censor it? Please? Can someone post that? That'd be great. Oh, caught in 4K. Thank you. Oh, that's just me. Racism. Oh, thanks. That's not what I wanted. That was a trick. I was just quoting Spanky Ham from Drawn Together in episode 1. I think. Was it episode? It was somewhere in season 1. BAFTA should be fined. Maybe. It's disgusting that so people expect Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan to accept it because he has to. What do you mean by accept it? What do you mean by accept it, though? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by accept it? What do you mean by expect them to accept it? Have they issued statements on it? I feel like they would be the type to not be saying like, "Hey, everybody, let's cancel this man with Tourette's," which is in a way like accepting it, right? Like, are they not accepting it? Like, why are you speaking on their behalf? I think he's exaggerating it. I've seen clips of the guy. He acts like someone who is lying or exaggerating their Tourette's. The ultimate plan. I'm going to pretend I have Tourette's to go to the BAFTAs to call someone an N-word. That's a good plan. Read the full article at telegraph.co.uk. I have Tourette's. I yell fuck the Queen when I met her. I'm assuming he doesn't talk like that. Sorry, everybody. What a point of sale trending in Canada. The man behind the ice. Oh, Jesus. Why are we getting an animated GIF of this guy? That's a bad choice. That's a bad choice. Telegraph. Oh, fuck you. Hold on. Anyone who wants a secret for how to bypass news paywalls, you go to a website that archives web pages like archive.is, and then you put in the same URL. Chances are someone has already archived it. You can read through it without paying, because information shouldn't be behind a paywall like that. I'm not going to read more than one fucking article from the Telegraph every year. Okay, I'm not giving you fucking $2 a month. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Make a deal with ISPs, right? Have something like YouTube Red. You should be able to make money for reporting, yes. I'm not going to do it in that way. All right. By YouTube Red, I mean YouTube Premium. Ooh, this is fun. Okay. Ahead of meeting the late Queen to receive his MBE, massive bowel excretion, the Tourette syndrome campaigner fears the worst. The clues in the title shared by the book and the biopic. I swear, and his fretting was reasonable. Already in the car park outside Edinburgh's royal residence, the high-pressure situation had been triggering. Davidson lives with a neurodevelopmental disorder, which meant he responded to stringent security checks in the most unhelpful way imaginable by shouting, "Bomb, I've got a fucking bomb." Ah, that sucks. That sucks. That sucks. That sucks. It would be a terrible thing to live with. Right? Like the guy who comes all the time. Have you ever seen that? Oh, you found the acceptance speech? Thank you.
And the BAFTA goes to...
Okay, hold on. Oh, on the official BAFTA... Oh, wait, this is the unedited or the censored? Okay, well, I guess we're going to find out.
My father's shadow at Canola Davies Jr.
Yeah, I don't know. What were the noms for this, actually? I'm curious. My father's shadow and what else?
Create this film. Lives.
What's the timestamp? Is it just at the end?
Daughter Amari, I love you.
It was censored on air. This one's uncensored sort of thing? Oh.
Palestine, thank you.
Okay.
Archive your stories yesterday, today, and forever. For Nigeria, for London, the Congo, Sudan, free Palestine, thank you.
What's really, really funny about this is the article we just read said he shouted it. It said he shouted free Palestine at the end.
Resistance. To those watching at home, archive your loved ones, archive your stories yesterday, today, and forever. For Nigeria, for London, the Congo, Sudan, free Palestine, thank you.
Oh, it would be funny if they didn't censor the like Congo and Sudan stuff, which are going through also things where people are dying in bad ways and we don't want people to die sort of thing, you know? Palestine's too political. Yeah, he definitely didn't yell. Oh, this is fun. Channel 4 News. Let's see what they're saying.
The biggest night in the British movie business. Broadcast
Show
enough
it.
in theory for the
Show it,
broadcaster
cowards.
Some cuts were made, not this. When the stars of Sinners, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy...
First BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
What scream deafened you? Me screaming? Did I scream?
Visibly
Oh, you're making a joke. Sorry.
shocked, they were praised for carrying on. Lindo later telling Vanity Fair he wished someone...
I like how they censored it here. Why even cut away and show the clip? Why even cut away and show the clip? Just say he said the N-word. You don't have to... What's the point? You're cutting away to a bleep?
Presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
We're here to...
Did you say it twice?
Socially unacceptable words and swearing.
All right, let's
Wished
hear.
someone from BAFTA had spoken to them afterwards. The slur was shouted by John Davidson, seen here on the right, a campaigner who has Tourette's. It's a condition characterized by sudden and involuntary tics, which can include socially unacceptable words and swearing.
Hello.
He was at the BAFTAs after his life story inspired the film I Swear.
I was blown away. I did not imagine anybody could pretend to have Tourette's as another actor.
Robert Aramayo from I Swear.
They got 6 noms. Gee, Bill.
It led to a dramatic and surprise win for its star, Robert Aramayo, for Best Actor, who appealed for understanding about the condition.
Tonight, especially, I just want to say that for people living with Tourette's, it's us around them that help define what their experience is. So to quote the film, they need support and understanding. Thank you so much for this.
Why is his green? Why does he get a green face or teal? Translucent teal.
Means the world to me.
But whilst there has been much support and understanding for John Davidson, many still have questions for the BBC.
We understand that it's involuntary, and actually this is a great learning moment for the Tourette's community and learning more about what they go through. But like I said, two things can be true at the same time. We can still be offended by what happened, and we can still feel unprotected.
Based and nuance pilled. Holy shit. Thank you. Thank you for putting this person on your program. Two things can be true at the same time. Holy shit. Holy shit. Thank you. Jesus Christ. My God. Can I get a...
Hell yeah! And actually this is a great learning moment for the Tourette's community and learning more about what they go through. But like I said, two things can be true at the same time. We can still be offended by what happened, and we can still feel unprotected if you don't do anything to censor it.
So you feel the BBC was too slow to react because the programme wasn't edited and it stayed on the iPlayer for some 12
It is an interesting choice when you edit out Free Palestine.
so hours. If it was another slur, if it was a slur against another community, would that have been edited out? If it was a swear word that he had shouted out, would that have been edited out? I think it would have.
Oh, she didn't watch the other clips. So that's a crazy thing she said. Well, based in Nuance pilled, but didn't do any basic research before coming on the show. So what the hell? What the hell are you?
Some 12 or so hours. If it was another slur, if it was a slur against another community, would that have been edited out? If it was
no, they didn't edit out any of it.
A swear word that he had shouted out, would that have been edited out? I think it would have.
In fact, other remarks were edited out from the BAFTAs. When filmmakers Wale Davis and Akinola Davis Jr. won the...
It's this, yeah, you can't have the story without also talking about this. Like, that's... BBC, like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What's wrong with Britain right now? And also, gotta love this. On, what is this, Channel 4? Channel 4 News? They forgot to edit out the cursor right here. You can see the mouse cursor on their program. They forgot to edit out the mouse cursor on their
award for
on their television broadcast, which is funny.
Outstanding British debut.
They're just screen recording, which of course you would do. Like, why wouldn't you?
Words about Palestine.
They can access it if you're in the UK. I'm sure you can just access it online.
Were cut from the broadcast.
For Nigeria, for London, the Congo, Sudan, Free Palestine, thank you.
The BBC didn't respond to our specific questions, but gave us this statement. Some viewers may have heard strong and offensive language during...
Oh, no. This is a fun interpretation. They're actually talking about the Free Palestine thing. They didn't realize that they edited that out. They're like, okay, that might have slipped through. We have to apologize for the strong and offensive language that people might have heard.
The BAFTA Film
That's a
Award.
fun one. I like that one. That's a good interpretation.
This arose from involuntary verbal tics associated...
No, yeah, the director of My Father's Shadow had an involuntary verbal tic associated with Tourette syndrome when he said Free Palestine. Oh, that would be so funny if that's where the quote led. Give me a comedy writing job where I don't have to use my hooves to write. Put me in a comedic writing room. I should reach out to some industry people.
With Tourette syndrome, and as explained,
I'm the best.
During the ceremony, it wasn't intentional. We apologise that this wasn't edited out prior to broadcast, and it will now be removed from the version on BBC iPlayer. John Davidson said this evening, "I've spent my life trying to support and empower the Tourette's community. I'm deeply mortified if..."
What would the best preventative measure have been? You could have given him an air horn that as soon as a tic's coming, he can press that drowns out whatever he says. I like this idea. And just put him somewhere where he's not going to like deafen the person next to him. Not ball gag. No, we don't want to muzzle him. You can just give himself a self-mute button. Right? Oh, it would be fun. It's such a good idea, but then the one... See here, like I literally told you, my brain's constantly thinking, what is the worst possible scenario? The worst scenario in that sense would be if they do that as a preventative measure, but he like messes up the timing, like he uncontrollably presses it like after, and so you just hear N-word, bam, like followed by the air horn. Oh, that would be funny. That would be funny. That's what Scott would do. I think the air horn would have made the mood lighter. The air horn would have fixed it even if it came after, actually, yeah. It would have turned it into a success story.
Embarrassing for all of us. Not the name I wish I... This is part 2 to my last post.
Part 2?
About the entire BAFTA situation. I am seeing a ton of people saying, oh my god, during Black History Month,
Okay, wait, we watched part 2 already. Okay, we didn't watch part 1.
Ignore how I look right now. Pretty great Kenshin. I am not feeling too great. However,
Well, the last video was only 2 minutes, right? I think it started at part 2.
there is something I have been asked to talk about, and that is going to be the BAFTA situation. Because
I don't know if
when you come online and you see thousands of people hating on your condition, specifically coprolalia, because that's something that is already very embarrassing for all of us. Not going to say that people can't be offended by the fact.
Yeah, I don't know if we watched that. Well, anyway. What else we got? Patronizing people here defending John Davidson's racist outburst are claiming those of us who are offended are too stupid and ignorant about Tourette's. We're neither. We understand Tourette's. We understand racism. Oh, this is an image from Sinners. Breaking Baz? Is this a program? Baz? Bamig Boy. I like your name. Could be a teachable moment. They could have anticipated this better. Whoa, this is a what? This is a fascinating. Okay, this guy, Buzz Bamig Boy. He's a Bamig Boy. Says N-word is in the top 10 for words that cut deep. I would say it's number 1, isn't it? There's like literally number that. Who would disagree? Who would name one word that's worse than the N-word? Woman. I don't know. Gamer. Cis. According to fucking Twitter, yeah. Interesting. N-word's top 10 for that guy, but not number 1. Those who aren't afflicted by the syndrome might think dark thoughts. How dark? Well, I mean, it's probably good promotion for the movie. There's probably going to be more people watching his movie. I swear. It's an interesting discussion, right? And it's probably a discussion that people should have, even if not everybody understands things in a meaningful way just yet. I mean, probably a bunch of people never will. So I made a tweet. Oh God, it had 1,000 retweets like when I started the stream. It's popping off. Okay, one of my tweets is popping off. People on this app will cry over a baby monkey being bullied and then do the exact same thing to humans. Which is a reference to this, right? I can't stop thinking about Punch the Sad. People are posting clips of this sad monkey. It is sad, right? It is sad. You don't want to see a monkey be sad. It's a baby, like its parents, like its mom abandoned it or something. And then there's other monkeys that are like bullying it. It's like the new, what is it, Mengdu? What was the hippo name? Every once in a while, the internet latches on to an animal from a zoo. Mudeng, thank you. Mudeng, right? Harambe. Now it's Punch, which is a funny name. And yeah, so there's like a lot of sad compilations of like, these other monkeys chased it and we're hitting it. And then the monkey, you can see it like go to its comfort, like little stuffed animal thing. It's sad. Don't get me wrong. It's sad. My point that I'm making is I wish that people had that level of empathy for other human beings, because then people's lives would be a lot easier, right? You'd be constructing a world for other people to live in that is a positive one. That was my point. And then this became related. I don't understand what this person got. So that's the point I was making. And then this person says, same reason people on this app will ignore a white man calling 2 black men the N-word because he has a quote disease. Kind of seems like this person's doing the opposite of what I was saying. It's like you're ostracizing and otherizing, and that's like your instinct, you know? God. And also, I say this app because Twitter is literally like, okay, I'm logging on to the harassment app today, right? I'm logging on to the dunking on people, the no nuance app, even though we have enough characters to have nuanced conversations now, if you, I guess, pay for Twitter. People don't do it. People don't do it. It's literally like, this is one of the worst apps, worst platforms, worst people. Like the type of people that use this app and are posting like every hour are some seriously fucked up people. And so, you know, seeing all of a sudden this weird like, oh, empathy, we're sad about the monkey, is just kind of like, it's kind of disgusting to me from people on this app. You know, maybe they're not the same people, but a lot of them definitely are. A lot of them definitely are. Statistically, it would make sense. It is a phenomenon that I mentioned earlier that people will have, you know, sympathy and empathy, the ability to feel like an emotion for something like baby monkey, but not other human beings around them. You know, and I think it might just be a symptom of anti-nuance, honestly, because the easy answer with like a baby animal is like, they didn't do anything, right? They're too dumb. They don't understand anything. So like, you know that they don't deserve it. Whereas like a human being, you're like, oh no, I can bully anybody because there's a chance that they deserve it. I can be abrasive. I can treat people like shit. You know, I can just be a big piece of shit to everybody because there's a chance they deserve it. You know, so these people are weird. And then this one's kind of funny. I saved this one because I noticed it. People on this app, you know, my same tweet. A literal dog fucker advocate thinks it's absurd for black people to be upset at being called beep. Olivia, I think you have to censor that for the thing. And what's funny about this one is this person thinks I was talking about the BAFTAs when I was literally talking about a baby monkey. But I don't know if they thought I was talking about the BAFTAs because the word monkey was in there, which is weird because I don't think black people are monkeys. I think people that say that are fucked up. Like, I don't make that association in my mind. I was literally talking about the fucking punch monkey. Right? But I found that funny and it was like, you know, a little related. So, oh, Olivia, when you're censoring this, censor out the username of that person too, because they're probably doing it for attention. And a block. And I guess that's the rest of that conversation. Oh, don't worry about it, Olivia. It's fine. Remember what I said earlier? Is that people will literally, like, they'll do the thing that they think will cause the most harm. Like, that's just the thing that people have attached onto for me. Like, I don't know if... I don't think my hyperfixation is over a dog character in the first place. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Just do the same thing back to them, you know? It's like, if they're fine with it, again, like I said, you know, everybody deserves to live in the world that they try to create for other people, right? I deserve to live in a world where, you know, people see or make attempts to see the nuance and see the charitability in what someone might be saying or might be thinking and treat people compassionately, but still remain honest and still be critical and still self-critical and critical of art and critical of authority figures and cultures and institutions. Like, that's the type of world I'm creating. And if the world they're creating is one where, you know, you can just go like, journalistic ethics, I'm not a journalist, then okay, like, sure, people should call you a fat pedophile. That's the world you want to live in. Like, okay, that's fine, right? You're fine with somebody else saying, "Oh, the owner of Kiwi Farms should call YMS a dog fucker." Then yeah, then you would therefore logically be okay with other people saying, "Yes, you should be called a pedophile. You should be called a fat pedophile." It's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? So, it's their rules, not mine. It's their rules, right? So, anyway, Olivia, don't worry about it. People that say that are literally only doing it to avoid having any nuanced thought in their head, right? That's the only reason people say that is to avoid to avoid grappling with the reality that human beings are complex, and there might be a person who said a thing that you disagree with, and that doesn't make them a bad person, right? Yeah, the points where it did bother me were points where I thought that like anyone was having any kind of like honest criticism or discussion, when I thought like that there might be people that were actually confused. But over time, you know, it undeniably just being like, oh, okay, like the people at this point that are characterizing me in that way couldn't possibly be doing so in good faith, because like literally everything has already been said about it that there is to say about it. Then it's fine. Like it's like there's a comfort in knowing that the people that don't understand you aren't trying to. At one point it did bother me because I thought that my default for human beings is that other people cared in any way about what was true and were trying to have conversations and try to discover a truth, and that even if there were disagreements, it was because they were exposed to different information and are just trying to figure out a truth and are confused. Not everybody is like that. Not everybody is like that. Some people are literally malicious. Some people are literally just playing games. You know, some people, like those people, the harm is the point, is what is really fucking apparent at this point. And again, they deserve to live in the world that they create for other people. So, yeah, I mean, it's what they want. So.
Hey everyone, Olivia here. It's February of 2026, so here are my $5 and up patrons. Titsy Salts Rumsfeld at Letterbox, Jordan A, Toby White, Blank, Anchor Wolf, Archeolix, Chloe Carlson, Cypress, Emil, Gabriel Herrera, Gezro, Happy the Knife, Lemonade Warriors, participating in the hit game Among Us is considered the encroacher, Lobsterite, Modern Nerd, Nurik Bin, Oh Here She Comes, Osmond, Residual Cheese, Roxy is no longer inside your walls because she has learned that the second season of the TED TV series will be released on Mark, Saliv88, Skanat On, Tammy, the bad gamer named Electrica finally gets a PC, the Flying Marlin, the Super One Player, T-King, Violet, www.openclassactions.com, Yup, and Zachary Kane. So, some of you have noticed that most highlights feature a silent screen with every patron instead of my usual outro. The thing is, I used to record one outro and use that for, like, every video of the month. And the repetitive nature of those credits are probably hurting the videos in the algorithm. So, from now on, you will only be getting credits like this on the first video of the month. I apologize to anyone I worried. I noticed some people were a bit concerned in the comment section. Sorry about that. I didn't really know how to communicate that well. But to anyone worried, I'm fine. Anyway, thanks for watching, take care, and fuck ICE.